Hey, yeah, you, sitting there scrolling through horror videos at what time is it for you? Midnight? 2 a.m.? Good, you're in the right place. But first, hit that subscribe button. Not asking, you're gonna want to hear how this ends, and if you don't subscribe, the algorithm's going to bury this channel faster than, well, we'll get to that. Here's a question. Have you ever been hiking? No, seriously, have you? Because if you have, you know that feeling. That moment when you realize you've been walking for 20 minutes and haven't seen a trail marker, when the path you were on just stops, when you pull out your phone and there's no signal. That little spike of panic in your chest, that's your body telling you something important. You're not supposed to be here. Tonight's story is about 4 friends who went hiking in the Cascades, experienced hikers, not idiots. They knew what they were doing. But they didn't know about the cairns. You know what a cairn is? It's those little stacks of rocks you see on trails. Hikers build them to mark the path, helpful little breadcrumbs so you don't get lost. Except sometimes they're not built by hikers. Sometimes they're built by something else. Something that wants you to follow them. This is the Midnight Narrator. This is the Cairn Markers. And I'm going to tell you right now, this one doesn't end well. Let's begin. This is such bullshit. Silas threw his pack on the ground and glared at the parking lot. 3 cars. 3 fucking cars on a Saturday morning in September. Dude, relax, Mateo said, adjusting his hydration pack. Less people means less traffic on the trail. Isn't that what you wanted? I wanted a challenge, not a ghost town. Maybe everyone else is smart enough to stay home, muttered Yuki, checking her GPS watch for the 5th time. Raj laughed. Since when are you the pessimist? You're usually the one dragging us up mountains. Yuki didn't answer. She was staring at the trailhead sign. Devil's Backbone Trail, 8.2 miles, difficult. Warning, trail markings inconsistent beyond mile 4. Experienced hikers only. Carry GPS. Tell someone your route. Inconsistent markings, she read aloud. That's vague. It's the Cascades. Half the trails up here are barely maintained. That's the whole point. Real wilderness, not some paved Disney ride. Did you tell anyone we're doing this trail? Silence. Guys, did anyone tell someone where we're going? More silence. Jesus Christ, we're all gonna die and no one will even know where to look for our bodies. We're not gonna die, Mateo said, but he didn't sound convinced. See, here's the thing about hiking that no one tells you. One wrong turn, one twisted ankle, one sudden storm. That's all it takes. And these 4, they were about to learn that lesson the hard way. They started up the trail at 9 a.m. The first 3 miles were beautiful. Pine trees, mountain views, the occasional stream. Silas was in front, setting an aggressive pace. Mateo and Raj kept up easily. Yuki lagged behind, still checking her watch every few minutes. You okay back there? Raj called. Fine, just my watch isn't syncing properly. We have paper maps, Mateo said, patting his pack. Yeah, because you're so good with maps, Silas said sarcastically. Remember Colorado, when you read the map upside down and we ended up? That was one time. 3 miles in the wrong direction? I said it was one time. They were laughing, joking, having a good time. That should have been their first warning. The mountains are quietest right before they fuck you over. At mile 4, Mateo stopped. Guys, look! On the left side of the trail, about 10 feet into the trees, was a cairn. 5 rocks stacked carefully, deliberate, too neat to be natural. Trail marker, Silas said, barely glancing at it. That's weird. Cairns are usually on the trail, not off it. Maybe it's marking a lookout point or something. Or maybe it's telling us to go that way, Raj suggested. They all looked at the cairn, then at the main trail ahead. The main trail looked rougher, overgrown, like it hadn't been maintained in months. The direction the cairn pointed, clearer, better defined. The sign said inconsistent markings, Mateo said. Maybe this is the actual trail and the other path is old. Or maybe some random hiker built that cairn for no reason and we shouldn't follow it. I vote we follow the cairn, Silas said. Main trail looks like shit anyway. I vote we stick to the main trail, Yuki countered. Raj? Mateo asked. Raj shrugged. I mean, the cairn looks official, and that path looks way better. 3-1. Democracy in action. Let's go. Yuki wanted to argue. You could see it on her face, but she didn't. Peer pressure is a bitch, even when you're 30 years old. They followed the cairn. And right there, right fucking there, that's where they should have turned back. But they didn't. We see a path that looks easier, and we take it. We see a shortcut, and we follow it, even when every instinct is screaming, something is wrong.
The new path was beautiful. Too beautiful. Easier terrain, better views, and every quarter mile, like clockwork, another cairn. Each one perfectly stacked, each one pointing forward. See, Silas said smugly, this is clearly the real trail, probably maintained by locals or something. Then why isn't it on the map? Yuki asked, studying her paper map. Because maps are outdated, Silas said. This is probably a newer trail. A newer trail that's not on GPS? Not on any official map? Yuki, Jesus, can you just enjoy the hike? She bit back whatever she was going to say. But she was right. She was absolutely right. And they should have listened. Another mile, another cairn. This one was bigger. 7 rocks, and there was something on top. A small pile of something. What is that? Mateo asked, moving closer. Bones. Small bones. Bird, maybe, or rodent. Arranged in a circle on top of the rocks. Okay, that's fucking weird, Raj said. Some weirdo probably did it, Silas said. You know how hikers are, always leaving random shit on trails. That's not random, Yuki said quietly. That's deliberate. So what? Someone's playing Blair Witch, trying to freak people out? Maybe it's a warning, Yuki said. A warning about what? To turn back. Silas laughed. You're being paranoid. Am I? We're 4 miles off the main trail following mysterious rock piles into the woods. That's literally the setup for every horror movie. This isn't a movie. Guys, Mateo interrupted, look ahead. About 50 yards up the trail, another cairn, and another, and another. 6 of them in a straight line, leading into a section of forest so dense the sunlight barely penetrated. Nope, Yuki said. Nope, I'm done. This is wrong. Everything about this is wrong. We've come this far, Silas started. I don't care. I'm going back. Yuki! I'm going back to the main trail. You guys can keep following creepy rock piles if you want, but I'm out. She turned around, started walking back the way they came. Silas looked at Mateo and Raj. She's overreacting. I don't know, man. Those bone things were pretty fucked up. It's probably just a scream. Yuki's scream. They ran, found her 30 yards back, frozen, staring at the ground. The trail they just walked. The trail that had been there 5 minutes ago was gone. Not overgrown, not hidden. Gone. In its place, dense forest, thick undergrowth, like there had never been a path at all. What the fuck? Raj whispered. What the actual fuck? This doesn't make sense, Mateo said. We just walked through here. I told you, Yuki said, her voice shaking. I told you something was wrong. Silas pulled out his phone. No signal. Pulled out his GPS unit. It was glitching, screen flickering, showing their location as nowhere. Literally nowhere on the map. Okay, he said slowly. Okay, don't panic. We keep going forward. The trail has to connect to something eventually. Or we're walking deeper into whatever the fuck this is, Yuki snapped. You have a better idea? Silence. They didn't. So they kept walking, following the cairns. Because what else could they do? You know what the worst part about being lost is? It's not the fear. It's not even the danger. It's the hope. That stupid, stubborn hope that keeps telling you just a little further, just around the next bend, you'll find the way out. And you believe it, because the alternative, accepting that you're truly fucked, is too terrifying. So you keep walking, even when the cairns start looking less like trail markers and more like graves. By the time the sun started setting, they'd followed 23 cairns. Yuki had been counting, each one different, some small, some tall, some with objects on top, more bones, feathers, what looked like strips of fabric. And the worst part? They were getting fresher. The first cairns had moss on them, lichen, like they'd been there for years. These new ones, the rocks were clean, bare, recently stacked. Someone's been here, Mateo said. Recently. That's good, right? Means we're near people. Or it means someone's watching us, Yuki said. Why would someone be watching us? Why would someone build 23 fucking rock piles leading us in circles through the woods? We're not going in circles, aren't we? Yuki pulled out her GPS watch. Despite the glitching, it had been tracking their route. She showed them the screen. They'd walked in a spiral, a slowly tightening spiral, for the last 6 miles. No, Silas said, no, that's not right. The watch is broken. Is it? Or are we walking exactly where something wants us to walk? Something? What's something? I don't know, but something is leading us. Something built these cairns. Something is... A sound. From the woods to their right. Footsteps. Slow, deliberate, keeping pace with them. They froze. Hello? Mateo called out. The footsteps stopped. Is someone there? We're lost. We need help. Silence. Then, laughter. Not human laughter. Wrong. Wet. Like someone gargling, trying to laugh. Run! Yuki screamed. They ran, through the forest, away from the trail, away from the cairns, branches tearing at their faces, undergrowth grabbing their legs. Behind them, the footsteps, faster now, chasing. Mateo tripped, went down hard. Mateo! Raj skidded to a stop, grabbed his arm, pulled him up. The thing, whatever it was close. They could hear it breathing, smell it, like rotting meat and wet earth. Ahead, a clearing. They burst through the tree line and stopped. In the center of the clearing, dozens of cairns, hundreds, all different sizes, all arranged in concentric circles. And in the very center, a massive cairn, 10 feet tall, made of hundreds of rocks, with something on top. A skull. Human skull. Oh, fuck, Silas whispered. Oh, fuck, oh, fuck, oh, fuck. The breathing behind them stopped. They turned slowly. At the edge of the clearing stood a man. At least, it looked like a man. Tall, impossibly thin, wearing what might have been once hiking clothes, now rotted and torn. His skin was gray. His eyes were black, completely black, and he was smiling. You followed the markers, he said. His voice sounded like rocks grinding together. Good, most do, but some turn back, cowards. What do you want? Yuki asked, her voice shaking. What do I want? The thing tilted its head. I want to show you something. He pointed at the cairns. Each stone is a hiker. Each cairn is a group. This clearing, this is where the trails lead. This is where the mountain feeds. We're not staying here, Mateo said. No, the thing agreed. You aren't. The ground beneath them started to shift, shake. The cairns began to topple, and from the ground around each fallen cairn, hands, dozens of hands, gray, rotted, reaching up, grabbing. You know what? I'm gonna stop right there. Not because I'm an asshole. Well, maybe a little because I'm an asshole, but mostly because you need to understand something. Right now, you're safe. You're in your bed, on your couch, wherever you are. You're safe. But Mateo, Raj, and Yuki aren't. And what happens next is going to stay with you. So take a breath. Maybe pause this, get some water, because this doesn't end well. I warned you.
The hands grabbed Raj first. He screamed, kicked, but there were too many. They pulled him down, into the earth, still screaming, until it stopped. "Run!" Mateo shoved Yuki forward. They crashed through the undergrowth. Behind them, the sound of rocks moving, shifting, following. "The cairns!" Yuki gasped. "Their graves! Everyone who followed them!" Mateo's pack caught on a branch. "Leave it!" Yuki screamed. He shrugged out of it. They kept running. The forest opened up. A real trail with official Park Service markers. "Oh, thank God!" Mateo sobbed. "We're back!" Yuki grabbed his arm, pointed. Ahead on the trail, cairns, small ones, new ones, leading down. "No," she whispered. Behind them, footsteps, multiple footsteps, the things that used to be hikers, coming. Ahead, the trail with its cairns. "We have to choose," Mateo said. "Both choices are death." "Then we choose how we die." They ran down the trail, following the cairns, because what choice did they have? That's the real horror, not the monster, not the thing in the woods. It's having no choice, every option leading to the same end. That's what the mountains do. They give you the illusion of choice, and then they take everything. They ran for what felt like hours, past more cairns, dozens of them, until finally, lights, actual lights, the parking lot. They burst out of the tree line, collapsed on the pavement. 2 other cars were in the lot now, weekend hikers loading up their gear, looking at Mateo and Yuki with concern. "Are you okay?" a woman asked. "Do you need help?" "We got lost," Mateo said. Our friends, they're still out there." The woman pulled out her phone. "I'm calling search and rescue." While she made the call, Yuki sat on the ground, staring at the trailhead, at the sign. Devil's Backbone Trail, 8.2 miles, difficult. Warning, trail markings inconsistent beyond mile 4. Experienced hikers only. Carry GPS. Tell someone your route. "We should have told someone," she said quietly. Mateo didn't answer. Search and rescue came, interviewed them, took their information, organized a search party. They never found Silas or Raj, not even bodies. The official report said, presumed lost in wilderness area. Hikers go missing all the time. The mountains are dangerous, tragic, but not suspicious. 3 weeks later, Yuki stood at the trailhead again, alone. She didn't want to be here, but she couldn't stay away. The nightmares were getting worse. Every night, the cairns, the hands, Raj screaming as he disappeared into the ground. She needed to prove it was real, that she wasn't crazy. She started up the trail. Mile 1, mile 2, mile 3. At mile 4, she stopped. The place where they'd seen the first cairn, where they'd made the choice to leave the main trail. The cairn was gone. The side path was gone, like it had never existed. Yuki stood there for a long time. Then she noticed something. On the main trail, just ahead, a new cairn, small, 5 rocks, freshly stacked, and on top, a small strip of fabric, blue fabric, the same color as Silas's jacket. Yuki walked closer, looked at the cairn. It wasn't marking the trail. It was marking where someone had left it. Someone who'd built it recently. Someone who wanted hikers to see it, to trust it, to follow it. Yuki looked up. In the distance, through the trees, she could see more cairns, one every 50 yards, leading deeper into the forest, leading away from the marked trail. And even though every instinct told her to run, to leave, to never come back, She couldn't, because Mateo was still up there. She'd watched him that night in the parking lot, after the search and rescue left, after they'd been interviewed. She'd watched him walk back to the trailhead, stare at it, and whisper, "I need to go back." "For what?" she asked. "To make sure." "Make sure of what?" "That I didn't dream it." And then he walked away. But Yuki knew. She could see it in his eyes. He was going back up that trail, and he was going to follow the cairns, because that's what the mountain does. It gets in your head, makes you question what's real, makes you need to prove it, makes you come back. Yuki pulled out her phone, texted Mateo, "Don't go back." No response. She texted again, "Mateo, I know you're thinking about it. Don't." Nothing. She called, straight to voicemail. Yuki looked at the cairn again, at the blue fabric from Silas's jacket, and she made a choice. She built her own cairn, right next to the false one, but she pointed hers in the opposite direction, away from the forest, back toward the parking lot, a warning. And on top, she placed her GPS watch, the one that tracked their spiral. Then she left, walked back down the trail, got in her car, drove away, and she never went back. Mateo found the cairns 2 days later, both of them, the one pointing into the forest and the one pointing towards safety. Yuki's GPS watch sat on top, screen cracked but still working, showing their route from that day, the spiral, the warning. Mateo stood between the two cairns for a long time. Then he made his choice. The search and rescue report came in 3 days later. Experienced hiker lost on Devil's Backbone Trail, presumed dead, body not recovered. His mother insisted they keep searching. They did, for 2 weeks. They never found him. But if you hike that trail now, at mile 4, you'll see 3 cairns, the false one pointing into the forest, Yuki's one pointing to safety, and a new one, tall, 7 rocks, with a phone on top. Mateo's phone, screen shattered, and on the screen, if you look closely, you can see his last text sent to Yuki at 3:42 p.m. on the day he disappeared. "I found them. The cairns lead somewhere. I'm going to follow them. If I don't come back, don't look for me. But if you see cairns on any trail, anywhere, knock them down, all of them. Don't let anyone else follow." Yuki received the text. She didn't respond. But every weekend now, she hikes different trails, and every cairn she finds, she destroys, kicks them over, scatters the rocks. Park rangers have asked her to stop. Cairns are trail markers. They're helpful. She doesn't stop, because she knows the truth. Some cairns aren't built by hikers. Some are built by the mountain, and the mountain is always hungry. So, still think hiking is relaxing? Here's what you need to understand about this story. Cairns are real. Hikers build them. Park services use them. They're helpful navigation tools, but not always. Sometimes cairns are built by people trying to mislead you, pranksters, assholes who think it's funny to send hikers off trail. Sometimes they're built by people who got lost and were trying to mark their path, dead ends, wrong turns. And sometimes you find cairns in places where no hiker should be, deep in the woods, far off trail, and you have to ask yourself, who built these, why, and where do they lead? If you're a hiker, here's my advice. Only trust cairns on marked trails. If you see cairns leading you off the main path, don't follow them, ever. I don't care how clear the path looks. I don't care if it seems easier. Stay on the marked trail. And if you see a cairn in a weird place, a clearing, deep in the woods, somewhere that doesn't make sense, turn around, go back, get the fuck out. Because something built that cairn, and it wasn't a park ranger. 3 people went into those mountains. None of them came back. The 4th person, Yuki, she survived, but she'll never be the same. She spends her weekends destroying cairns, trying to save other hikers from making the same mistake. Some people call her crazy. I call her smart. If this story fucked you up, good. Hit that subscribe button, share it, let people know what the Midnight Narrator is about. Because next week, I've got another story about why you should never, ever trust what you find in the wilderness. Sleep well, listeners, or don't.
Maybe stay up thinking about every hiking trail you've ever been on, every cairn you've ever followed, and wondering, was it built by a hiker or by something else? This is the Midnight Narrator. The mountains are beautiful, but they're not your friend. And if you ever see a cairn far from the trail, remember this story and keep walking. Sweet dreams.